Janet. All right, dressed for the occasion.
And that was a funny thing. I was thinking, I've got to try to like clash and have every pattern that I've got. And I did this, and I'm like, well, wait, they're still all black and white and gray. I'm still like, not even like clashing color or something. But that just tells you how like bland I am, I guess. Have you ever had a bug sandwich before? Have you ever had a bug sandwich? I'm sure your answer is probably no, even though you probably had a few bugs in your fast food sandwiches that you bought, so we won't go and think about that, though. I know if you're in the military, you have to be prepared for doing things like eating bugs, but that doesn't mean anyone wants a bug sandwich. But one year, at Christmas, a friend of mine gave me a bug sandwich because she thought I had, quote-unquote, everything. But I probably didn't have a bug sandwich. It wasn't technically a real bug sandwich. It was a 3 plastic bugs instead of a plastic or rubber slice of bread thing or whatever. I kept the bug sandwich on top of my fridge for a few years, but now after the rubbery plastic bread fell apart, I tried to put some of the bugs into the bottom of my fish tank, like trying to keep the memory of the bug sandwich alive. So if you're ever wondering what to get someone for Christmas, if you want to buy a gift for a person who has everything, go to the trick shop and get them a bug sandwich. In a strange way, they just might like it. Years ago, and I have another goofy little, but I have left something. I did my homework and I wrote this long piece. Many parts, but let's see. This is called Understanding What's Crazy. It won't be this outfit. Had a boyfriend. Wait. I had a Judeo-Christian boyfriend, which meant when we were up at college getting tanked on the weekends, his Sabbath was from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, so he wouldn't go out on Friday nights. A male friend of mine had tickets for a concert one Friday night. I was so psyched to go. But my boyfriend, well, it was his Sabbath. I know he wouldn't go. But he had no problem if I went. I mean, this other guy was my friend. So before sundown, on Friday, my boyfriend even came over and helped me style my hair before my big concert night with another guy. Now, that might just seem a little odd, but I swear to God, this guy he was just a friend, really. But what did seem a little more crazy was that during the concert, my friend licked the side of my face. I mean, he stuck his tongue to my jawbone and ran his tongue up to my temple. And he never explained why he did it. The public gymnasium hall was often on demand, so when I couldn't find a tennis partner, I reverted to racquetball, practicing a different type of swing, and knowing that the room of walls would always bring the ball right back to me. But a guy who liked me wanted to play racquetball, so to the gymnasium we went, and as I said, these rooms were in demand, so we always had to keep looking through those 8-inch square windows of every racquetball court to see if there was any of them were empty, and we could enter and play. Well, we finally found a room, and we made it our own, dropped our cases on the corners, and then we started to practice our moves. But one shot he hit, well, it was fast, but it must have come at just the right angle to far up around the corner, because it reflected repeatedly before it shot right into my right eye. Okay, it was more like to the right of my eye, right below my eyebrow, but it was still really close, and it was still really fast, and it was still really hard. I dropped my racket, and I turned my back to the nearby wall so I'd have somewhere to fall. He instantly ran over to me, and he put down his racket, and he put his hand to my face. "Are you okay?" he asked, and I was trying to catch my breath. I moved my hand, and his eyes were 2 inches from mine. It wasn't quite crazy, but it was a little surreal when I looked to the door and saw someone trying to look in to see if they could use the room. Sorry, we're not in a makeout session, but the room is taken. Maybe it's not crazy to drink in the sewers, but it might seem crazy when you're a prim and proper girl with a bottle of champagne to share with your man, and they suggest a great place to share it would be in the sewer. And this prim and proper girl is wearing a suede miniskirt and shoes, but prim and proper girls are taught to follow their man, so agree she does, and off they go. Of course, she has no idea how to get to the sewer, but of course he does. So they bring 2 disposable paper cups, you know, the kind that they used to find at the office water coolers, and he opens a grating to below a deserted street where they make their way down a metal tube set for stairs. Now, it wasn't what the prim and proper girl had in mind, and oh well for the suede shoes on the metal steps. Just try to not touch anything down there. Just drink your champagne out of your mini paper cup, and remember that you're finally someplace where no one will ever think to find you. As more and more of your family dies after you've almost been killed yourself, well, do something. Just say you've done it before it's too late. So take a flight across the country and jump from an airplane and have a view of the Rockies during your fall. Spend hours in training, then wait hours because of an afternoon rainfall. The locals say, it's okay, wait a few hours, and the storm will pass in time to make it for a jump today. So the woman is waiting, the camera crew's there too, and the only thing she was told to do for the camera was, if you're having fun, do jazz hands. Sounds simple enough. But when the time came and they got onto the airplane with no door, and their altimeter said that they were at 12,000 feet and it was time to go, she completely went numb. It was like her eyes just went out of focus, and she just blindly followed the staff's commands and went through the commands and motions without thinking. She didn't remember how to move her legs when she first fell, but she did everything perfectly. But after they landed, a cameraman had to ask her, what were you doing with your hands? They were flying all over the place. And she looked at him quizzically and said, I was doing jazz hands. Even though 125 mile per hour wind resistance gave her no control of her hands, she thought he had to be able to tell. Doing jazz hands. Of course she was. If you jump out of an airplane, what else would you do? Because the rock band Wham was the first popular European group to hold a rock concert in China, they made their Freedom video back in the 80s of their China concert. All the Chinese people will want a photograph with you at the Great Wall of China because everyone is half your height. Well, maybe you can break away from the locals so that you don't look so crazy when you walk along that wall breaking a song. I don't want your freedom. You know, that's a really funny line to say for the Chinese. I don't want your freedom. I know I wasn't supposed to be hanging out with these 2 brothers from down the street, but they weren't really bright, but their screw-ups were so entertaining. So I was out with them at an empty field that led to an abandoned storage building, and they'd set up cans and extra metal sheets as targets for shooting their guns. Okay, no harm there. But one of the shots hit a metal sheet and ricocheted straight into my leg, right by my knee. Okay, the bullet slowed down from the ricochet, and it's right under the surface. It barely hurts. But my parents don't want me hanging out with these boys. So hopefully I can just push the bullet out from the top and stop the bleeding, and no one will be the wiser. What am I thinking? I've never really been crazy. But I'll tell you what is crazy. A bunch of Democrats supporting an old socialist because 18-year-olds who are going to college like having someone tell them that college will be free, because right now they're going to be in debt for years because of their education. I know they're too young to know that any socialist system won't work in the States, but they don't need logic or sanity when somebody tells them what they want to hear. And speaking of politics right now, I'll tell you what is crazy. It's that a third of the nation supports a business mogul running for president who wants to stop some religions from entering the country. who refers to women they don't like as having blood coming out of their lady parts, and who calls another nation one of rapists and robbers. Crazy wants to run our country. Why am I wondering where crazy is? I see crazy wherever I go. I have a really short one. It's an old piece. He thought this was hysterical and made no sense, so I'm just going to read this off for you. Imagine planning your life around something that you have no control over. Imagine losing your job because they didn't like your performance. Okay. Imagine this. Imagine wanting to blow bubbles whenever you were working in a champagne factory. Imagine playing instead of working. Imagine that you're working for like Dom Perignon near their factory, and you didn't care about your job, and you just wanted to drink, so you looked like a drunk whenever the executives checked you out. Imagine that someone asked you, what do? And you answer by saying, maybe you've got some sort of drawl, I make bubbles. Or I blow bubbles, or I bleed bubbles, or something. It doesn't even matter what you're saying, because what are you supposed to do when all you want to do is act like you're drinking and then just enjoy yourself instead of actually doing your job? Maybe you just want to blow bubbles while you're drinking champagne while you're at work. Hey, wait, that's something you should think about. If you're in a place like that, do you get to drink the free champagne?